Good evening, viewers of Amaqhawe TV. Welcome once again to this usual slot where we discuss about liberation heritage. Thank you for always supporting this program. My name is Amaqhawe Manene. I am a member of Amaqhawe Ethu, as well as the host for this program. One of the things that comes out of our liberation heritage is the armed struggle, where arms had to be taken by different organizations in order to get this liberation that we fought for. We had Azanla for Azapo. We had APLA for PAC. We had MK for Mkondo Wesizwe, African National Congress. We had Quibla. We had many other organizations that were in the front of this liberation struggle. That has left many people with scars, emotionally, physically, and otherwise. In one of those, we had also those that have left very young and very young, bengabantwana, that they decided that they cannot accept and just look things falling apart. Those left and became soldiers in all these different formations for liberation. Sometimes they are called non-statutory forces, but as a Amaqhawe Ethu, we regard them as statutory forces. Today I'm having Wakhola. He's not the first a stranger in our program. Uput Ola Chamsar. For those that have listened in the previous program, you hear that he left at the age of 17 years. Welcome at Abecha, and I hope you have relaxed now and have felt Abecha.
I just need a house. Get a base, man. Let me say a house. Let me say a base. That's going to
Okay. Maybe we'll take you a military village. We'll see without. Putmola, my understanding is that you are a combatant. You are a liberation fighter, and Amaqhawe Ethu wish to thank you for ukuzincama ubuntwana bakho. You know, wahamba wacrossa imilambo, wanyathela amazwe usemncinci. I can imagine into indlela wawuyiyo then. Khawubabalisela abantu ukuba ngubani uXola. Kukho abantu abaqala uyiboka la program nje uthi vandla.
Ndibulisa kwakhona kubamameli bamaqhawe ethu. Ndonwabile ke kwakhona uba sendenziwe umhlali waseGqeberha. But lilonke wena Xhamela, in as much as people will always want to thank you, as if there was something special engaphaya etyeni kwabantu exile. We all had a role to play with revolution.
Yes.
Abanye, they were operating khona apha ekhaya. They didn't sacrifice less simply because they were not in exile. The choice to go to exile was an individual choice, and hence in the Sitcho Party, as I said in the last program, ukuthi uSobukwe said i-revolution yeyabantu.
Yes.
But ke uXola ndiyakhumbula khe ndasho uba uxola uTyamzashe ngokokuzalwa uzalelwe eSoweto in the very early 70s. So when June 16 happened, I was but 4.
Sure.
And I think that on that day, it's one of my earliest childhood memories when the helicopters were there, you know, all over us. For some of us, sasiqala uzibona,
Yes.
you know, and I was very young, but the memories are still there. And that plowed a seed in me. You know, growing up further in Soweto, if you remember, I guess, state of emergency in the mid-80s, if there's 4 or 5 of you, nibone hippo, you just had to run.
Or else you will die.
Or else you'll die. For no apparent reason, we're moving targets. For xa beyokwenza ii-practicals zabo phaya, xa befuna ii-practical targets, befuna into ekuthiwa yi-moving target.
Sniping and all this.
Yeah, but they perfecta ubusniper babo. So now, up until kufika ixesha up, I felt that no, but I can do that. Because now the advantage yabo babekwazi usibetha sikude, and again we felt that nathi we had to graduate from ekubambeni izitena neziciko zemigqomo. We felt that no, lento abakwazi uyenza nathi sikwazi uyenza. Up until ke kufika ixesha apho umuntu azibona ukuba uready. And as young as you might say I was, surprisingly there were some who were even younger.
Sure.
During my time, I think the youngest was I won't say he was a boy, he was a boy. Kwakuthiwa nguMzontsundu, he was from eMdantsane. When he came to the camp, when he left the country, he was about 11, but when he came to the camp, he was 12.
Yo. Wow.
And then he underwent military training. He was one of the youngest. Umzontsundu, Sniper, O'Brien, who's now late, or Godfrey. They were even younger. I'm talking of 13, 14, 15-year-olds. You know, just to mention O'Brien, for example, I know that when he was deployed back inside the country, wabanjwa. Case yakhe was held in camera for 2 years. They were waiting for him, but I reached 18, bakwazi umgweba. Bamnika bail a few months before, and then 2 months, I mean, it was November, xa bemnika bail. I think wabanjwa 92, Brian. And then bamnika bail, sesibuyile ke nathi ngo-November ka-94. Wagwetywa ngoFebruary ka-95 to 20 years. 95. Akagwetywa ngamabhulu. But ke 3 years later, ngo-98, wafumana iparole. This TRC, wakhutshwa yi-TRC. So in many cases, whenever I speak of unsung heroes, we normally focus kakhulu emadodeni.
Sure. Yes.
Unsung heroes include our mothers.
Yes.
Unsung heroes include the children.
The children. As well, like
And we had people that had disabilities that were involved in the struggle.
Sure. Nizwele ke baphulaphula that this struggle was not only about men. This struggle was not only about those that were in jail. There were children, there were women in this struggle. But Ola is coming to tell you about, to share those stories, himself and others as you heard. Please stay tuned on and don't leave and stay on that channel. We are coming back with these child soldiers in our liberation heritage. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for staying on. Thank you very much for tuning in into this program that speaks about liberation heritage especially about those unsung heroes. When we left, Molane was talking about those heroes, child soldiers, and those mothers that were in the front. Uxolo ngokuphazamisa sityiwa lixesha ungaqhubekeka ke lenkcazelo yakho.
Ndibuyele kuzo people tend to think that we did not have child soldiers. Though ke thina besisazi ukuthi they were all in the revolution. For those that found themselves that they were forced to grow way beyond their time. You know, xa nifika enkampini, the first 3 months were hell. Hell, not because there were tortures or because it was difficult. Our program started at 3 o'clock in the morning and iphela ngo-10 ebusuku. That's your day. And you'd run, you'd be on the run. You'd be surprised that the 13-year-olds and the female comrades were also part of that. We've called Tabo Zuki Santunus from Amaqhawe, actually, was part of us. Snabote Ndaunjamela, Abu Nontsigelelo Nkashe, who's now late, may his soul rest in peace. Olinda Maswanganyo, Fundiso Maswanganyo, who's now a general in the Defense Force. Ononkululeko, Okidiboni, I mean, these are females. And it's not that exercises, they were different. Bekne exercises as tiles and so Kamadoda, Bekones and so Gomama. The struggle was one, the training was one, the drill was one, and the endurance was one. So, as I've said, talking again about the child soldiers, you know, I've got very painful stories that one could share. When we started our course, we were a group of about 135. The eldest, babekho no tata badala in their 40s. Osani, or Johnny Boy, or Tiger. But now, when you saw somebody that was 27, you know, and but a majority too were around the same age group.
Sure.
I can safely say during our time, we were born between 1968 and 1974, 75.
Sure.
Some even younger, but since it was the majority of us. One of the biggest challenges were more than the training itself. The training was not a challenge. You know, under normal circumstances, our basic recruit course would have taken 6 months, but because of Izigulo, we suffered from malaria. And I think that 2 months into our course, no, not even 2 months, a week into our course, we lost our first casualty. A young man from Tembisa, we called him Umishek. After
So he was attacked or?
No, malaria.
Oh.
He suffered from malaria. And then we had somebody that I always talk about who died in front of my eyes, Amaqhawe. His name was Uxolani September. We called him Utabang in exile. He admitted dispensary, ukuyazisa uThabang, uwile, ucollapsile during maneuvers, uzofumana treatment. So, the doctor on duty was a comrade from Amaqhawe, a New Bright. Sasembizo Star.
Sure.
Walapha in New Bright, Star was on duty, the doctor on duty. So, xa iziswa, ubekwa kwibhedi a dispensary that is opposite mine. And I've been admitted for about 2 days.
Same sickness.
Same sickness. Uthabang ufika ubekwa kwibhedi, hayi ndiyamjonga uyandijonga uhlala ebhedini. Angabulisi. Ustar ahambe uyodibanisela into ze-injection, ukuthabanga collapses.
Sure.
He just screamed, ndibiza uStar. Hey, Comrade Star, simkhulula ibhutsi, simkhulula iwebhelt. Abengathi uyarecover. Athi uStar, no, mandimonitore, ndihlala apha ecaleni kwakhe. Wakhaba kayi-2, wamemeza. 1, 2, he was gone. Akho truck iziphumile ziseDar es Salaam. Itruck yayikhona yayisisiskaniya esikhulu esimhlophe. Bazame badibana omakhenikhi basenkampini, istart iskaniya. Asinazi lights, asina anything. I was admitted out for the first time now to Dar es Salaam that night. And next to me was Thabang's corpse.
Yeah.
We left the camp at round about 7 p.m. Ingenazi lights, kukhanyiswe ngetorch. And we arrived in Dar es Salaam the following morning at 7.
With your comrade
Lying next to
dead.
me. Next to me. There were comrades who were driving. Bebekhanyisa itorch. Sahamba sofika Dar es Salaam, which is plus minus 300 kilometers away.
Prax, I'm sorry about this story, and I feel your comrade lying next to you. You are young, and you are attacked by malaria. And whilst you went there to fight for the liberation, and all of a sudden you are attacked by another situation, is sickness that you did not go to fight for. How did you feel about it?
Before talking of my feelings, because every time I talk the story, I can still remember that night. But you started by saying, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be the one that's apologizing. The people that still owe us an apology feel that they've done nothing wrong.
Yes, I understand.
The struggle, the difficulties I'm talking about, it's made a mockery. It was made a mockery by initiatives such as your TRCs that criminalized our struggle and legitimized the apartheid.
Oppression, colonialism.
Whereby I have to go and apologize for fighting for my country with TRC.
Well, that's not wrong.
Yeah. So for me, when it's
That was
an
not
African,
right.
when it's an African that is apologizing for something that you did not do, but as I said, we all had roles to play.
Sure.
You know, we all have sad stories to tell. Some others more painful than others. Yeah. So feeling, I still feel that this country is not doing enough for its veterans, in particular.
Yes.
You know, sometime towards the end of the year, there was an initiative yokulanda abantu who died in exile. Qalwe ngenkokheli. My heart was painful xa kuthathwa uPhokela, who was given as Category 1 state funeral in Zimbabwe and was lying a hero's ache and brought back home to a lowly second category provincial funeral. That was the precedent. Because he was a chairman of the Central Committee, he played the role of a president.
Yes.
Because he was the commander-in-chief of our forces. He was given a second category funeral by this country. And was
Whilst
Zimbabwe was buried by the president.
The
So-
value of the
Sacrifices.
sacrifice was given its due by Zimbabwe.
I said the last time we had streets named after people who were abaphoswa tear gas, and yet there's not a street named after Uxolani September 18.
There's the challenge, viewers. There's the challenge, Bantu Balapa. A child soldier is now not a child, but the child in him remembers everything that he has shared with us. It's the reality of this liberation that was fought, and the struggle continues. A luta continua. Please stay tuned on as we are going for a break. Welcome back, viewers. Thanks for tuning in. For those that are just coming in, we're talking about liberation heritage. We're talking about child soldiers in the camps, and we're talking about incidents that they've met, because those are stories that are not shared. Those are stories that are never told. We just hear about the attack in this and the attack on that, but their personal experiences and their suffering is never brought forth, so that generations to come, they may know what has happened. Now you are sick with malaria. What happened to Africa of September? So you went 300 kilometers.
No, yeah, what happened is that if your malaria yako is severe, you'd be admitted out to eMuhimbili to get treatment. We had treatment in Campini, but now malaria now we are severe kwaye isifathi ngokufana. Ide ifike na ku stage whereby they say babies by cerebral.
Yes. Okay.
Affecting ingqondo. Umuntu elile ebusuku ekhwaza ethini ucimba hayi and akazenzi. So malaria, it's not like your common flu. Flu, if I don't go to a doctor, kuthiwa ithatha 14 days. Ubandile doctor kuthiwa ithatha 2 weeks. So at times umnyaka ayi doctor iyaziphelela nje. But with malaria, the more you stay, because it costs a mosquito.
Sure.
And then you develop again viruses, and then they multiply. The more you stay with it, up until, unless you take treatment, treatment yakona, then there was a treatment baby is chloroquine. The other side, chloroquine, treatment yakona, sasibizi 442. You take 4 tablets today, take 4 tomorrow, day 3, you take 2. But kengo because one of the symptoms is that you lose the appetite. So you take other tablets like your B complex, paracetamol,
Concoction of some sort.
yes, and then the downside of malaria, which was an advantage that I had, after that third day, pause. Itching, your whole body itches.
Sure.
As in like itches, you literally scratch yourself. But yeah, yeah. So that was, so a lot of people avoided that treatment because of that. But the danger is that the more you don't take the treatment,
system collapse.
Yeah, because but you end up being used to it. But but up until the last intakes, just before we came back home, we still had comrades dying from malaria, mostly because they were avoiding the treatment. I'm not saying that was the only reason, but there were other reasons.
Maybe Ategwe is strong.
Yeah, but besides, a lot of sicknesses, besikhambe emlanjeni. We would suffer from bilharzia, would suffer from, meningitis. And there was an outbreak, I remember, I think 91 in the camp, meningitis. We all had to be vaccinated. Fortunately, we had treatment.
Sure.
That we used to get from your UN, from your...
Yes. Now, malaria and Umola, was he buried or...
Oh, yes,
sorry.
yeah.
He was buried.
Yes, and remember now, I said I was admitted out in Aye. I think he was buried 2 or 3 days later. We attended the funeral, he was buried in Kinondoni. There was a cemetery. There's a suburb in
Dar es-
Ilokishi actually, around Dar es Salaam, maybe Kinondoni, it had a cemetery. Many of our comrades, particularly now, from the 80s, 90s, they were buried in Kinondoni. So we had a number of comrades that were buried there.
You are sick, your comrade dies with you, and you had to bury him 3 days down the line.
And we left him, he's still lying there. Utabang, if I'm not mistaken, he passed on go 91. If my memory serves me well, yeah, around about. But again, we are talking what? How many years now? It's almost
he's still
33
lying.
years.
He's still lying there.
It's still 33 years. There's not even a small monument outside that graveyard or that cemetery that says, "Here lieth soldiers." You know, Azanian soldiers.
Yeah. Besides the sicknesses, you mentioned that you, a 13-year-old, would be experiencing the same training, exposure, and everything, like the 40-year-old. I mean,
And the ladies.
and ladies. Thank you for that. Now, in terms of, for everything, ubuphatha igap means ugawula inkuni, i-strength somntana nesomuntu omkhulu ziyohluka. Did you experience any challenges in terms of mishandling abantwana abazidubula and all those kind of?
From my experience, the only experience that I had there were two. But nobody was dublayo. In the one incident where we're being taught, we're doing an exercise, stick grenade, summer China.
Okay.
It's not like your normal grenade,
Yes.
firing pin, and then you throw it. It's got an inentambo, and so what you do, you wamba lentambo, and then you sponsor, but intambo sala kuyapuma. So what had happened? Saphuma, instead of going forward, the grenade yalenda up next to a comrade, Ubambizu Cliff, he passed on. But he was saved by a Tanzanian instructor. Wamdivela uCliff. So sharpnel yakhona, splinter, sabetha the Tanzanian, and he died instantly.
Sure.
That was the one incident. The second incident was, when we go to the shooting range, would be firing your G3, which is your assault rifle, your AKs, your Scorpion, whatever. But xa sekuphele i-rounds, mhlambe sekugqityiwe, mhlambe if the shooting range be 3 days, get day 3 kune-bullets eziseleyo, kuthiwa kuzawugqityezelwa zona. So in many cases bekuthathwa ke the young ones, kuthiwa mayibe ngaba bazawugqibezela ke whatever, whether bakwi-kneeling position, and the females. On this one incident, there's a comrade who's also passed on, Sasimbizo Mavitana. I remember sise shooting range, kwakudutyulwa i-G3. I-G3 ke it had a kick. Inantsika sonke xa sibuya apha, would come back with marks, from the range, because by kicker, as you hold. So, babekwi kneeling position, I think there were few ladies and the young ones, babegqibezela ke the ammunition. Thina seva ngayo, they were on repeat. Sabona sasimemva kwabo mos njengoba bedubula apha, sabona uthuli lisithi apha phambi kwakhe, and ngathi siyamtyhala sisithi, and you must think that we were in a straight line. Xa siserengini kaloku akho mntu uphambili or usemva nonke because itarget iphambili. Sabona nje uthuli. Fortunately, there's an instructor, he has since passed on, kodwa apha ekhaya, uNceba uMkhutshulo.
Sure.
Passed on, I think was from Ape Phazami, but I might be mistaken. Nguye wamdivelayo uMavetana, the lady sasimbiza uMavetana. Nguye wamnantsika. Otherwise,
Yes, a spinner.
sasawunantsika, the comrades that njengoba simuva naye, those that were on her left, asazi uba wayezawubetha ngaphi ngoba yayisengathi siyamcontrola ngoku akakwazi nokukhupha umnwe kwi-trigger.
Yeah, these are the experiences
So
of child soldiers. These are experiences that were experienced by people amongst ourselves. Siyazivela ke baphulaphuli nababukeli what was actually happening in these camps, what the child of this beloved country of ours have suffered, whilst others were sitting in detentions, whilst others were being tortured, others were also experiencing different traumas outside. This is the liberation history of our country that should be shared in the open. We always thank you, Amaqhawe TV. Please stay tuned on. We are coming back to share these child soldier experiences. Thank you. Welcome back, viewers. And Putol, tell me, would you have done it differently if you knew?
No.
Yes?
I took a conscious decision when I left the country. Hence I'm saying a lot of things. Me joining the revolution was inevitable.
Yes.
It was a question of when. Could have gone earlier, could have gone later, but I think I left at the right time and for the right reasons. I do not regret. So if your question is, would I have done it differently? No. I think that was my mission in life.
Good. Was it? I understand that the pagan Africanism has played a huge role into your conversion. We shared that on the other day. I want to go down to the fact of the current youth, if you understand what I mean. I've heard it in the circles. No, people are basking in the sun. They were just in exile and doing
On holiday.
nothing. And they were on holiday, accepting the rations of the UN and all that kind of thing. And currently we're sitting with lots of youth that have given up, in my view, on life because of crass materialism, because of wanting to live the so-called fluent life, popular life of money and all those kind of things. Now, when that youth and the challenges that were faced with the current youth, your mindset versus the current youth.
I must say, firstly, when we grew up, we had role models that we looked up to.
Yes.
That will tell you about us now. Are we the role models to our kids?
Wow.
I'm not sure whether the problem is with the kids or the problem is with us. Where did we lose it?
Sure.
I was saying that all we did, we played our part in the struggle. We took the baton from earlier generations. Did we pass it on correctly? Perhaps that should be the question. The youth did not just fail. You can't just say we've got a lost generation.
Someone has caused that.
Somebody did not do something. It could have been me. Did I impart that knowledge? By the way, another acronym for APLA is not just Azanian People's Liberation Army. It was also Arm the People, Liberate Azania. So you arm the people in order for them to liberate themselves. How do you arm them? Give them guns? No. Ideologically.
Information.
Information.
Yeah. Values.
Values.
No.
Something got lost along the line. I was in a bus sometime, local buses, last month, and I saw an old woman, standing. And for me, the generation I come from did not allow that to happen. If you see a pregnant woman, an older woman or an older man standing, wena ungumntana. Ungayi ngoba nawe ubhatele. So we've got the youth and the rights. But ke ngoku eza values kaloku azuzifundiswa ebhasini. Uzifundiswa apha ekhaya.
So it started.
So there's something that we've lost as this current generation. I count myself among that. Remember now, we've got a role. Not firstly as parents, as former freedom fighters, as communities. Thina ukukhula kwethu busazi ba ubumoshe next door uzaqala ubethwe next door uyobethwa nasekhaya. Uyophindwa. Sikhule sibe ibasic uyazi uzawubethwa pha uzazibe zikhona ibasic akokwethu kodwa zimali zase next door. Sabiza se next door ubuye uzawubethwa nasekhaya.
Ufike uyoxala ububethi uphinde ubethwe.
Uphinde ubethwe futhi. So that's why I'm not saying ukubethwa was the right thing, but I'm saying there was a discipline that was instilled in us. You knew ukuthi utata ngutata umama ngumama ubhuti ngubhuti.
Sisi ngusisi.
Sisi ngusisi ngoku hayi sihlala sonke sijema sonke esimokolweni. Enyobeni tavern
17-year-olds.
13-year-old ithini mina ndingutata ukuthi uphi umntana nami ngo7. Uhleli nentanga zami pha etavern. Mane zimthengela utywala. So it's double-edged.
Yeah, it's double-edged. And it's also about this. We need that element of restoring. In order to restore, it must start with us. Not silindele bona bamabafunda. No, I get it, and I always iyafiliphala kuthi loo nto leyo. It does not come out that it's a two-way street. So parents have to parent.
If we have degenerated to this level in less than 30 years, where do you see us in the next 30 years?
One.
Abantwana, this Nyaupe generation is abingaba abazali.
One, I think, influential person said that in the next 20 years, we're not going to have kids. Because the current Nyaupe, Mapara, whatever, they have been castrated by drugs.
Yes.
You know, their system are not working normal like they should be. And
they can't even think.
Without having smoked.
Even whether they've smoked or have not smoked. They live for the next 5 minutes. I mean, they live
for the next fix.
For the next fix.
Yeah, this is a bit getting emotional and very heavy. And
we've got a hand in it.
Yes. And
by either doing nothing and saying nothing.
Wow.
We have normalized it.
We are scared of them.
Umntana wentombazana uyaphuma endlini enganxibanga umbona uba kanxibanga umyeka aphuma ahambe.
In the rights, in the interest of okanye fear of rights, I don't know.
Uye esikolweni. Uyangena pha uprincipal uthini? Uprincipal uzamnqanda njani ngoba uphumile endlini enxibela hlobo.
And you don't have to hit. You need to educate.
You need to educate.
The value system and all those kind of
That's what we have lost.
Wow. Ndixakiwe Ndiyinkuku esikumlomo. Kodwa ke eli lidabi lethu nanku umcelimngeni bazali, former liberation fighters, leaders of a community. There's something that needs to be done in the correct way. We cannot have a generation that just goes flushed out of the system. There's quite a lot that needs to be done in reviving our society, in reviving our communities. Babekwazi uthatha responsibility of being soldiers, bengabantwana. It is up to us to restore that and bring it back, a values system, African value system, community value system, and make sure that we come back strong. We're going to go on a break. Uputmonde has shared with us a lot, and it's quite a heavy program, I must say. I was taking it lightly when you presented it, but now I'm feeling very connected to it. But be it as it may, Amaqhawe Ethu has brought you this on Tumakapa TV. Stay tuned on when Uputmonde comes back to conclude his childhood stories. Butxola. Ngos. Welcome back, viewers, and thanks for staying on. Let me apologize as we are running into emotions. Ndithetha ngobhutmonde, ndithetha ngobhutxolane. Mandixolise kuwe bhuti, ndixolise nakubabukeli. As a former child soldier or others that are out there, in restoring okanye, in taking the fight further, now without arms but with the arms, what do you think can be done in order to help the community? Because situation embi ayingathi asinayo isolution. Kukho abathi mababethwe, kukho abathi mababanjwe, and what form of intervention that you suggest?
For me, firstly, we must look at basifike njani apha. We no longer have basic community programs.
Basic community programs.
We no longer have sports in schools. So there's nothing to do nje xa kuphuma isikolo uzawuhlala up until ngomso uvuke ekuseni esikolweni. I'm talking about ababafundayo. But now these things exesheni elininzi sijonga urhulumente. Meanwhile thina sisifeyila thina kuqala and expect for solutions from the government.
Schools are dumping zones.
These dumping zones. So I think that we need to have community programs. One, then there must be some form of, we can't be talking of rehabilitation. We should not even be having that as a problem. But now that the problem is there, how do we stop? Because we're seemingly spiraling downwards. There has to be a stop to that, and we normalize life. I mean, we live in a country that glorifies crime.
Yeah.
Criminals are running the streets. Criminals are our role models.
TVs are showing criminals.
Yes, and but what is said is that we've got criminals also running the country. That's a bit harsh, but it's a fact of the matter is that people, I mean, how do you explain a question of a former president being sentenced? A sitting president being investigated. Lala phezu kwemali, yalanjwa. Yeah, so I mean, for me, something is abnormal. The whole society is abnormal. To normalize it, we need to start from basics. La nto ibithethwa ngusobukwe yobu Africa.
Rally.
yobu Africa.
You're saying that it sounds more than so.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which other country has had commissioners being sentenced?
Sure.
Your Jekisi levies, Begi Celes, ministers, people whom you are expecting ukuthi ngabo ingxaki zelizwe ngaba who are supposed to be maintaining order.
Abefundisi basema strong.
Nas inansika naba bapasa pho nansika uthenga degrees nansika intoni effort premier.
Yeah. Aye.
So that's how rotten the society is, and the only people that will normalize it are the actual people. So you'll ask yourself, we vote for a government and then 2 days later we march against it. So whose fault is it? That's the unfortunate part.
Back to the basics and make sure that we restore our communities to the values, to the ubuntu, to a system of respect and appreciating each other. And that's what Uputmonde has shared with us from his journey as a child soldier and he experiences like with the current youth. He has been with us to share about the experiences of malaria, the experiences of grenades being thrown in the wrong directions. He has shared a lot, and in our homes and in our places, let us do think about those child soldiers. Some are still existing. There are kids being killed in Palestine, in Congo, South Sudan. Those are realities that are happening in our communities, in our world. And we are fortunate to be having you to come and share this. And unfortunately, due to time factor, we have to call it a day. Please, valelisa bukeli baseqabeja, Bomakapa, and you are national, nabo bonke. And where do people get to contact to put?
One of the things that I do, I share some of these stories. I've got a YouTube page. I've got an initiative in place called the Lest We Forget Legacy Project. But a YouTube page, you can just find on Xola Tyamzashe. Just search for Xola Tyamzashe on YouTube. But I think that I'm also active on Facebook.
Yes.
I'm also active on Facebook.
Connected and through the groups.
Yeah, and I'm active. Yeah, I'm active in some groups. But diabulela kwakhona bamameli beAmaqhawe Ethu neMpuma Koloni TV. Mpuma Kapa, yes. Oi Kapa ikoloni. Okay, Mpuma Kapa TV. Thank you for the invite. I feel so honored. And as I said, I can't accept how for me, I'm not here to tell my story. There's still going to come a time when I tell my story.
But now it's still...
By the way, I've got 2 books that I've done, completed. One is a book of poems called The Products of the Azanian Chimurenga.
Oh.
It's busy with the printers. And I've got a autobiography that is called, I call it the Metamorphosis of a Lone Revolutionary.
Wow. It's still coming.
It's still coming. It's done and dusted. It's done. I've crossed the T's, I've dotted the I's, so hopefully something will happen in the new year. But the story is incomplete. Aluta continua.
Sisisele Senyathi, Babukeli, one of those rich and very knowledgeable, loving son of the soil, Opoxola Jamzasha. We thank you. We thank once again DMV for making sure that you come on our program. Please convey our thankfulness. Bomakapa TV team that is making sure that we come out and to our supporters and viewers. Amaqhawe to appreciate all that, and please do support the calls to ensure that this liberation or this struggle continues to restore our community. You hear it for yourself from Uput Ola, and all the time in this program we do talk about these things. We're never fighting to be a non-liberated country. We're fighting to be liberated. It's time now. It's 30 years behind after 94, but we have not yet realized what was fought for. His books are available, poems and everything. Do contact him. Thank you very much for always watching. Thank you very much.